I mean, yes and no. I mean, the assisted devices program helps with all sorts of assisted devices, right? But to me, it's just them being their regular cheapskates. Like, again, I'm on disability, so that warrants me to $733 every 5 years for a pump. And exactly, you'd be shit out of luck. So basically, they say, now let's not even talk about me. Let's talk about somebody who's 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, cannot, no way, no how, ever intake anything orally, ever. Okay? I don't know. You have stomach cancer, or you've had your stomach removed, or I don't know, other various reasons that there is absolutely no way, no how you can orally eat. Never, ever. You're 4 years in, the pump dies. You don't have the funds to replace it. You're severely disabled. There is no way you can work, right? Again, not talking about me who's working part-time. You can't work. You are severely disabled. You rely on your disability check, and you have no way, no how to afford another pump. You're shit out of luck, so that means that you don't get to eat. Like, that's what I don't get. My AC's going off again. But it's just like, again, I'm on disability, so I get $733 every 5 years. Somebody not on disability gets less than that. I'm not entirely sure how much they get, but they get even less than that. The prices of these pumps are minimum $100 more. If you're lucky to find one, only $100 more than that. And again, let's say you're not lucky enough to be able to work at all. How are you affording that extra $100? This is why, like, when I wasn't working, I had to keep buying pumps secondhand. I had to fundraise to try and get pumps because I could no way afford to pay for a pump out of pocket, full price or partial. And then let's talk supplies. Again, I'm fortunate enough in a way to be on disability, so I get $500 quarterly to buy everything. As I showed earlier, a couple weeks back, I spent over that. Now I can go ahead and afford to do so now because of the fact I'm working, so I have a little bit of extra to be able to put towards my supplies to make sure I'm getting enough supplies for 3 months. But what if you're not fortunate enough to be able to work? You can't work. You're physically not able to work. You get $500 to try and spend on your supplies. You best hope you're finding sites on Facebook or otherwise where you can get stuff that other people are giving away, or you have to reuse and reuse, which creates bacteria, which can cause people to be sick, et cetera. This program is the only one like it. Every other province in Canada, you are fully funded. You don't have to worry about paying out of pocket. So I sit here and I ask, why is Ontario, which as far as I know is like the richest province, making their people go broke over medical? It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, I'm fortunate enough that I can work still. It may only be part-time, but it's something. And in a roundabout way, I'm fortunate enough that I'm on disability, so I get the little bit extra. Because if I wasn't on disability, I wouldn't get that little bit extra. And I don't know how parents are doing it or people in general that are not able to work, but also not on disability. And so they only get $375 every 3 months. That's you're not even getting hardly anything for that. Like what I showed, I spent $300 when I first got my money. I spent $300. I got 15 bags, 20 syringes or something like that, some extensions, and a single drain bag for $300. And then I went and I found a program, it's out of the States. I found a program that somebody told me about out of the States that offers feed bags at 50 cents a bag. So I was fortunate enough to find them thanks to somebody else. So that got me some more feed bags at a cheaper price. But I've now got to pray that when they ship them, I don't get hit at the border. Because if I get hit at the border, I pretty much have to send them back. Because I'm not going to be able to afford duty on them. Because if they decide to mark duty on them, they're going to charge whatever we're paying for them here in Canada. And the cheapest I've been able to find is $10 a bag. Which, again, is an absolutely ridiculous amount. Right? Especially because you're not supposed to reuse these bags. Like, that's the one thing that the Moog is the name of the company of the pump, asked me, and when they were doing the warranty, they said, do you reuse bags? Because our pumps are not designed, and our bags are not designed for you to reuse them. And I was straightforward with them. I said, I have no choice. I live in Ontario. We don't get the funding to be able to use a new bag every single day. I have to rinse them and reuse them. I have no choice. But like the company themselves even states they're not supposed to be reused. So all I know is something needs to change, because I'm one of the fortunate ones. How many out there aren't as fortunate as I am? I mean, yes and no. I mean, the assisted devices program helps with all sorts of assisted devices, right? But to me, it's just them being their regular cheapskates. Like, again, I'm on disability, so that warrants me to $733 every